Hey yo pineapples, Nidge here, back again with yet another brand new deck profile. I'm actually bringing you a somewhat updated deck profile of a Shaddoll build, and as you can see, I have decided to bite the bullet and play a version of Invoked Shaddoll. I clearly did not use this deck enough to say that obviously it is a lot more consistent than the pure build that I had. I've got nothing else to say about it. I think it's just a lot more stronger than the pure build. This is a going second build, but it can go first if it really needs to. There is a couple of things that I would change to the list going forward, but at the moment with the current rate of meta, I'm not 100% sure if these changes are worth it or if they're not. But other than that, I'll get straight into the deck profile. It is a 40 card build consisting of 19 monsters, 19 spells, and only 2 trap cards. So it's really, really good. Because it's an Invoked Shaddoll list, we start off with 3 Alsa the Invoker. Although I do prefer the pure variant where you play a Mathematician, because I find Mathematician does a whole lot more. This variant of the deck is very inconsistent, and you need 3 Alistar. You need to get this to this boy as quickly and as fast as possible. So 3 Alistar is mandatory. As for the Shaddoll cards, I'm playing 3 copies of Shaddoll Squamata. I think this is the most important Shaddoll in the deck, in any variant of the deck, I do believe. More than welcome to argue with me if you want. I'm only playing 2 Shaddoll Windy. The reason being is that it doesn't... What's the reason? I think it's just because it only has one function in the deck, and that is to do the construct, send the incarnation to grave to flip Ariel and to continue to go off. I just don't think it has that much utility in the deck. I have tested it with 3 in the deck. I just found the third one was more unnecessary than anything else, so I've only cut it down to 2. I have decided to bump up the beast count to 2. Just a free draw is actually pretty phenomenal, and you can set it off the Wendy for an extra card as well. So 2, and then still sticking with the 2 Hedgehog. 2 Hedgehog is perfectly fine. I haven't needed more, haven't needed any less. I'm only playing 1 Ariel still. Again, it's something that I would consider playing 2, but at the same time, it's probably for the same reason that for the Wendy, you don't need any more than just the 1. And I'm only playing 1 beast, 1 dragon, just for the off chance that the back row decks are still live in the current meta game. No Falco in this list, just for A, room space, and B, I don't think Falco contributes to... There's no Hulk of Firebrax in this list, so I don't think Falco contributes to anything as such in this deck. So they're I think it's 12 Shaddoll monsters. 11 Shaddoll monsters, something like that. And then I'm playing 1 Damage Juggler and 1 Trick Clan, just for light targets to send off of the Shaddoll Fusion. They're really good cards. I was tempted to play just double Trick Clown, but in some instances, sending this to get the add is to get an extra card out of the deck is actually pretty good. So I've decided to play 1 of each. And the only hand trap I'm playing in the deck is Nibiru. I've been playing this deck for probably a little over a week now, and I've tested a wide variety of different hand traps. I've tested my favorite lineup, which is 3 Ash, 3 Phantasme. That gets you nowhere. I've tested an all-light package, so I think it was 2 Nibiru, 2 Ogre, then 3 Veiler or something like that, and I've tested playing the Gamma package along with another hand trap, like either 2 Nibiru or 2 Effect Veiler, I think it was. I just think that because it's a pure going second deck, I don't want to open up too many hand traps in order to just not go off, and I found that this for combo decks is the best one, because it clears their board, so in theory, unless they have an extender, they can't do anything more. I've got a free monster, so this plus Alistar gets you to Cross Sheep, it gets you to the Alistar Link. It's a light target, so you can banish it to make Makaba. I think it's just the more prevalent hand trap for this particular build. So not much else to say about that. So that's the 19 monsters that we play. For the spells, obviously 3 Meltdown, we want to get to Alistair as quickly as possible, and to stop your opponent from messing with your Shaddoll Fusion plays as well. I've also bumped up the invocation count to 3. Ignore the fact that mine are in different rares. The reason being is you want to see a fusion spell as soon as possible. I was going to maybe cut the 3rd invocation for the Book of the Lord, just because it's a going second build, just to get that extra damage in. And if you on the off chance you don't get to kill him, you just tag out a Purgatrera for a Macabre or a Caliga or whatever. But you want to see fusion spells in your hand as soon as possible. So I've gone to 3 at this stage. I was playing 2. 2 was fine. I had no problem with 2. I see a lot of decks playing 2, and I'll see some decks playing 3. So I've just opted for 3 at this stage. Just 3 regular Shaddoll Fusion. It's a double Foolish Burial. Not much else to say about it. And then 3 El Shaddoll Fusion just for OTK pushes. It's come up quite a lot. It's arguably better than Shaddoll Fusion just because it is a quick play spell. You can get around things like the Floodgates of Anti-Spell and Imperial Order. Again, this is a going second build, so these both have their merits in the deck as well. And then I'm not playing Super Poly in the main deck. I've decided to side it. Anyway. I have decided to opt for playing 3 triple tactics talent in the main. There's 2 reasons for this. One is I don't know where I am on Super Polymerization in the main deck. The extra deck is so tight in regards to all the cards that you require and all the cards that you sort of help you extend. I don't think Super Poly is good for blinding in an opening hand. That's just my personal. And the only second reason is I've had this card for a couple of weeks, and I have not had a deck where I can play it in it. So this is the first deck. It's come up quite a lot, actually. If they happen to, like... I was testing Gamma earlier. I just found that no one Gammas the field spell, and by the time you've got the field spell out and activating a Shaddoll Fusion, they can't respond to it anyway. So the only time that they would hit my cards with a hand trap is when you normal summon Alistair. They instantly just throw out a Asher, a Veiler, or an Imperm, but this I found was a lot better than Gamma. Just getting either the draw 2 or just taking control of a monster to make my own board and then continue to go off. Or I haven't really ripped any cards out of anyone's hands at this stage, but the draw 2 does come up quite often just to get that extra synergy in the deck, just to keep going through through your deck to see what you can hope to accomplish with it. So I've enjoyed Triple Tactics Talent. This is my personal tech. You can play Super Polymerization. You can play the Fusion Recycle Plant if you really want to. You can play another set of hand traps if you really wanted to. Again, I've had them for a little over 2 weeks or something like that. I just haven't used them, and they've come in clutch for me. So then the one-up spells. I'm playing 1 Upstart Goblin to make it a 39 card deck. 1 Terraforming, so you can get to your Meltdowns quicker, you can get to your Alistair quicker. 1 Foolish Burial, it's every card in the deck. And I also decided to take in 1 Pot of Desires, just as another way to get to those combo pieces. All your spell cards are in a 3 of, so you have no qualms on banishing any of them. It's an easy side out card too. If I don't need the Pot of Desires in order to get to my combo, then I will side it out for something else if need be. So that's the spells, and the only 2 trap cards I'm playing are 1 Resh Shaddoll Incarnation and 1 Shaddoll Schism. They both have their merits. Obviously, the Incarnation is for the combo that you can do with it, and the Schism is there for your going first play, as it were. So really good options to play in the deck. So that's the 40 card main. As we continue on to the extra deck, for the fusion monsters, we are playing 9 of them. I'm playing 2 El Shaddoll Construct. That's not an El Shaddoll. That's an El Shaddoll Construct. Oh man, as much as I would love to play a 3rd Construct, there's just simply no room for a 3rd. I'll get to the other ones first. I'm also playing 2 El Shaddoll Winder. and a 1 El Shaddoll Ab Cologne. I think this is the perfect 5 Shaddoll monsters for the deck. As much as I would love to throw in the third construct, it's not worthy of the slot 4. And the second Winder does come up in those grind instances. Ab Cologne comes up as sort of a third Winder as an option, or a third construct to get to your fusion spells a bit faster. I just think this is the perfect ratio. I did test 3 construct 1 and 1. The second Winder did actually come up in those instances where I did play it, but nevertheless, this is probably what I would say the best 5 cards out of that. The Invoked Fusion monsters, I'm playing 2 Macabre. Obviously, you would play the new Invoked, whose name escapes me. It requires I think it's an Alistair and a Fusion monster. So, that's probably one of the cards I would play. I was also testing Raijin because I played the Wendy. I decided to cut down the Wendy, so the Raijin was then null and void. 1 Purgatrio for the OTK pushes, and then just the 1 Kaliga, so you can end on a board of Kaliga. Well, what I've ended on a board is Gravity Controller, Kaliga, Winder, and then they can't do anything, so busted. And then the 6 Link monsters that I'm running, the Owl Mirage and the Security Guard. This is pretty obvious for what it's worth. I'm also playing the Gravity Controller. I'm on the fence about Gravity Controller at this stage. It could probably... I was actually tempted to play either another Link 4, like an Appaloosa, or a Nightmare Unicorn, just for that extra spot removal of the deck. So this is probably a flex spot. It has come up in regards to, as I said, summoning up Cologne, sending it for the controller to get the extra fusion spell, and then play on their turn. So it does come up, and the other 2 are clearly there for the 1 card Macabre. And then we play, for Link 2's only 1 Cross Sheep and 1 Alistair, the Invoker of Madness. This card is insane. Another reason why I was considering running the Book of the Law. So you can search it off of this, tribute out a Invoke monster, and then summon a new one to it. And then the only Link 4 I'm playing is 1 Boral Sword. I was tempted to play Access Code Talker. I just found that I never really, although I've got, what have I got here? 4 different attributes of monster, obviously too dark, for the access code. These 2 get banished off of a fusion card, so this is for a Macabre and this is for a Purgatrio. I just didn't think it was necessary to play the Access Code Talker as such. Instead, I've just gone for a secondary Purgatrio, quote-unquote Purgatrio target, into killing them as soon as possible, sort of thing. So, yeah, so that is my Shaddoll Invoked list. I have been testing it quite a lot lately. It's been very, very consistent. Obviously, it's got the same problems as any other fusion deck, is if you don't see a fusion spell, then you're not going to win. It's a very, very fun deck. I recommend it to you. Any tips, tricks, or queries about the deck, by all means, leave them in the comments below. I will endeavor to read all those lovely things. Thank you ever so much for watching. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see you for more content. Thanks, guys. Peace.